And now's the time when things are shifting. There's gonna be a new world order out there. And we've got to lead it.
True international depression.
You are fake news.
I am not suicidal.
We'll circle back with you directly. I can circle back. I'll circle back with you.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Hello and welcome to episode 336 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I am Jeffrey.
And I'm Brian.
Well, there's two guys drinking some beers, talking about what's going on. Anyone who is listening to the show either probably stumbled across us by accident or this was a joke from a friend of theirs, or they actually listen to us regularly. But yeah, we just talk about the news cycle. Lately it's been kind of boring, but the elections have given us some stuff going on to talk about, I guess. But we also have some stuff that we follow up on as we do try to keep up on the stuff that we've covered before.
Right.
Well, Brian, we recently talked about how all the environmental agencies finally came out and said that their predictions for the end of the world are not accurate. And well, apparently Biden. Oh my God. Trump has shut something down. What is it? Ocean monitoring system. What exactly is that? Is that like temperature and current?
Yeah, it's a climate change thing.
And let me guess, nothing has changed out of the ordinary in the last 30 years.
No.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. I think climate change is a real thing, but I think the climate is always changing. We're still on our way out of a mini ice age, which would account for a lot of this global warming too. But it's tough to actually see, quote, global warming
Right.
because it's not happening fast enough for you to notice year over year. They're saying it's at like less than a tenth of a degree a year or something. Like what they said in like 1,000 years, it'll be up by like 1 degree or something.
Right.
It's like I would think in 1,000 years we would have solved this problem by then. And now they're saying even that model is not accurate. Like, yeah, okay, it's not nearly as bad as we thought. I'm not sure what I think of the ocean monitoring system shutting that down though, Brian. That might be able to help us predict weather patterns before they're gonna occur.
True.
But what do I know? I'm no meteorologist. Bolton pled out.
Yeah, he had to. He was looking at an awful lot of time in prison. Even with his plea deal, he's looking at least up to 5 years.
Now, John Bolton used to work for Trump. What was his job? Besides war hawk?
He was the UN secretary.
Ah, okay. And this is one of the guys who turned on Trump and tried to put him in prison for the classified documents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets busted with it just like Joe Biden, except this guy's actually going to face consequences.
Right.
Which, don't get me wrong, John deserves it, but I think the sheer fact that they said we can't prosecute Joe Biden for this crime because he's a doddering old man who doesn't know what he's doing
Mm-hmm.
should have been enough right there to say, let's not run him for president. you
Yeah.
know? But, what do I know?
Right.
Oh, Don Lemon's thing with the church. Was that in Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyone doesn't remember. Go ahead, Brian.
His notoriety works for his favor again, you know?
Yeah, well, they busted into a mass, intimidated everyone there, scared the crap out of them because they thought they were all about to be killed. And no charges were brought up, even though this is the same law they're using, the FACE Act, the same law that protects people from doing that in an abortion clinic, protects these congregants in this church, but it was ignored because it was a church. Meanwhile, we're hearing about people standing outside of abortion clinics praying, getting arrested.
Right.
Interesting stuff. Of course, nothing's going to happen in Minnesota. State charges. Federal government could, in theory, press charges, or because it's a religious institution, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that we would see or not. Maybe this new guy they got in charge of intelligence Can you remember the dude's name?
No.
No, I want to say Blanche or Blatt, something like that. Anyway, he was the guy in charge of like mortgages and stuff. And, like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, why is this guy a great choice? He's the one who actually got cases brought up against people for mortgage fraud.
Okay.
So, I mean, he actually went through this stuff and found it. He got what? Letitia James and, oh, geez, another Democrat who accused Trump of the same thing. Yeah, but they're
Well,
still
Letitia
facing charges
James
of
is
it.
fighting her charges, so
Of course she is. Of course she is. But they're registering themselves in a different state than they. Okay, to hold these congressional seats, they have to have their primary residence be in the congressional district.
right.
These folks are buying houses in like Northern Virginia so they can stay there when they're working in Congress, but they're writing it off as their primary home to get lower mortgage rates, which is mortgage fraud. The same thing they tried Trump for in New York.
Yeah.
All right, you shared this one about it's not is it the current mayor or the prior mayor that said this about the Bears?
I thought it was the current mayor, but I could be
Oh,
wrong.
Brandon Johnson. Okay, yep, new same current guy.
Yeah, he
But
said that he doesn't like going to Bears game because it takes all day to get to the game and get back from home from the game. It's a total
yeah,
day out.
he admitted to leaving the game early to try to beat the traffic on the way out, which just leads more credence to they need a new stadium, period, and they can't do that in Chicago.
Right. And
And
there was another announcement on
a
here that,
vote was made.
yep, the people in charge of the Chicago Bears board of directors are starting to advance the Indiana deal. So they're going to be looking for property in Indiana, and looks like the Bears will moving next door to Indiana.
Well, I mean, how many times can you poke the bear before you expect it to strike? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Pardon the obvious pun. All right. Oh, and you shared this one. We covered something about this before. How the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center,
Yeah.
funded some of the Charlotte or Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which one it was. Charlottesville.
Charlottesville.
Okay. They're different cities. Um, they're what they call them, the Tiki riots or the I don't know whatever. But they were the ones who funded people to show up with Ku Klux Klan stuff
Yeah.
and organized. They found all the white supremacists in the country. And according to this article you shared, Brian, is not only did they organize this shit, but they've been funding and keeping these organizations afloat for many, many years.
Right. And that's worse than hell talking about the organization. So
Well, yeah, how is the SPLC going to bring in any money if they finish their mission? You know?
mm-hmm.
So they're convincing people. I mean, they're paying. Apparently, they're paying for wood and fuel for cross burnings. I didn't realize this shit actually was happening. I thought this was a handful of wackadoos across. But apparently, they're like still doing annual cross burnings as like some ceremony. And the very people who are famous for basically bankrupting the Ku Klux Klan are now reviving it and funding it.
Right.
My goodness, why isn't this bigger news? Does this have to get to the court before people realize? Because they're being brought up on charges for this now.
Yeah.
What charges are they anyway? Like fraud?
I think so.
Because I mean, really, is it illegal for them to give money to a hate group?
No, I don't think it's illegal, but I think they misrepresented themselves.
Yes, exactly. That would be the fraud aspect of it. They told everyone else that we're going to go fight hate when they're actually creating it and spreading it. Uh, Geez, man. Like, why don't you just take the W and go find another cause to fight for? You know? Or check this out: take the W and go back to work.
Yeah.
You know, they call themselves nonprofit organizations. That doesn't mean the people that working there and running the thing aren't getting paid by that company. It just means the company's not paying taxes.
Yeah, Goodwill's a nonprofit too, and look at how much the CEO for Goodwill makes.
Disabled veterans, whatever it is there, the DAV,
Hmm.
that's a nonprofit, but you have to pay money when you walk in the door to get any of that shit, right?
Yeah, but I don't think their CEO makes six figures at DAV.
Maybe, but I don't know. He's probably got a lot of locations he's ultimately responsible for, but there's a good chance that he's not.
Goodwill does that though. Goodwill, they make over $100,000 a year as CEO.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of goodwills out there too. Let's be 100% honest. And there is still a CEO job. You have to pay him comparable, or else that guy won't come and do that job.
Okay.
But again, Goodwill's really not going away because there's always gonna be people donating stuff that someone else can sell at a massive discount.
Yeah.
Like if they actually eliminated hate, these people can no longer keep their six-figure jobs. So they manufacture it. Uh Despicable, dude. All right. Yeah, I heard about this from everybody. Yeah, I don't follow CBS, let alone what 60 Minutes. Scott
Right.
Pelley, I guess, is a big deal. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard the name before. Just like when they shut down they did their last radio broadcast like last week.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I was like, I don't care. This guy, actually I said it that then I realized, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure the hour news block I get on my FM radio station giving me updates is CBS. I was like, oh, that might be an issue. But all you gotta do at that point is put your local DJ just read the news out, right?
Right.
And it's the same, you know what I'm talking when I say the news update. It's like every hour on the 15th or something, they tell you like the big deal news going on locally and internationally. Not
Hmm.
an actual, yeah, for like 5 minutes or 2 minutes. But yeah, I guess Barry Weiss is really shaking up CBS and especially 60 Minutes. And didn't some of these people resign?
They threatened to, but I don't think very many people did. They
Mm,
like their jobs. They like making money.
I agree. I saw something saying that three names I didn't recognize were staying on, but when I
Leslie
heard someone,
Saul staying.
or that was one of them I saw, yeah, because I remember thinking steel like the chainsaw. uh, but yeah, I don't know who these people are. And when I first heard people were resigning, all I could think was that they're martyring themselves to make it look like they fell under the mighty fist of Trump. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But we'll see where that ends up, honestly. But let's be real, CBS has to change things, especially their news in particular. With CBS just canceled like 8 shows or something like that. They're getting rid of a lot
Yeah,
of this woke stuff, which
because nobody was watching it.
true. But did you notice that these sports teams are bringing back their pride flags? And these
Not all of them.
correct, but this is something that most of them didn't do last year, and I thought they were at least going to wait till after the midterm. And this is exactly what we were talking about. It's funny, Brian, because when I put these together, I'm like, oh, the conversation will probably naturally flow this way. I don't make an effort for it to happen.
Hmm.
I just like it'll probably go this way. And then the next article here is the Gallup poll showing that support for the LGBTQ plus issues is sliding backwards.
Yeah,
E-
a lot less
And
people are supporting it than it's down 6 points from 2023 when it was at 65%.
well, it's one thing to say, yeah, cool, do your thing, I don't care. It's another thing for me to have to celebrate your who you like to have sex with. I mean, or what parts you wish you had. And they pushed it on us everywhere. It's like I remember seeing a video meme one point, and the guy says, "Okay, here's our new commercial," and it's like a white dude and a black dude and an Asian dude all making out with each other like in a thruple thing. And then the other guy looks at him and says, "Yeah, but how is this going to help us sell cheeseburgers?" He goes, "Cheeseburgers? They're not trying they're not trying to sell their products. They're trying to push their
Agenda.
ideology." Yeah. Just like look at Subaru, they're made with love. So yeah, okay. And we're if there was any vehicle attached to lesbians before, it was already the Subaru, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and they're made with love, and puppies drive them, and everybody, love is love, and we believe in love. And but do you know that Subaru also makes freaking attack helicopters for Japan?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like Rolls-Royce makes, fighter jet engines, for example. And it's just like they have no idea. They buy into the propaganda instead of, hey, this is a reliable vehicle for you and your family. It's
Right.
we accept you. It's like, who gives a shit? Do you want the automobile to work right or not?
Yeah,
Ooh, this one was
definitely.
this next one was interesting, Brian. About you shared it from your BS report, your daily BS report about
Yeah.
Congress voting.
Yeah, they uh um there's a bill going through right now that would require Congress to stay in DC and voting every day of the week if there's not a budget. So basically, they wouldn't get time off on the weekends or anything like that. He's trying to make it more painful for Congress to push through that way they'll actually do the budgets before they expire. So we won't be doing continuing resolutions forever.
So do a deadline like a contractor would do, and if the work's not done, everyone's working overtime until it is done.
Yeah.
I could agree with that. But how many of these have been brought up about these guys if they don't do a budget, something will happen. And none of it ever gets passed because these are the guys who pass these laws. Like I like the one that if um if a budget isn't reached, every member of Congress is up for reelection next midterm. I like that one. I was like, that's a good one. And then, your constituents get to look at why the hell didn't we sign this? There we go. What's going on in Michigan?
Um,
You got some
we
presidents showing up, I guess.
yeah, both former President Bill Clinton and George Washington are going to be speaking in Grand
George
Rapids.
Washington?
George W. Bush. That'd be
He ain't
better if
quite, he's
George.
old, but he ain't that old.
That'd be better if it was George
Dude, I
Washington.
would go to Michigan to Grand Rapids to see George Washington.
All right.
What are they doing?
They're
I,
speaking at the that that Capital Community with what's the name of the thing again? Economic Club. They're speaking at the Economic Club.
okay.
They
And they're going to be
spoke
talking
there.
about the economy. Oh, so that means they're probably going to be talking a lot of trash about Trump then.
It's a private event that will commemorate the club's 50th anniversary. So yeah, probably talking trash about Trump.
Yeah. We'll get to more of that Trump stuff later concerning prices of gasoline and such. Um, okay, what's AJ Nessel?
The Attorney General of the
Oh,
state.
AG. Oh, AG. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Attorney General. I should have.
basically,
I thought it was a company at first.
Consumer Energy asked for a huge price increase last year, and they got it. And now they're asking for another 456 million dollar rate hike request 1 year after they did the last one, huge one.
Did they have any justification for this?
Oh, they're saying they're doing infrastructure improvements, they're putting more lines underground, but we can't afford it. And energy is a heck of a lot more expensive in Michigan than it is in Virginia. At
I
least
believe
until
it, but
because we got more data centers in Michigan already than some of the other states do.
true. But maybe instead of asking for a rate increase on everyone, why don't they ask for a grant from the government to put the lines underground? Because that's safer and more reliable. That sounds like something that, because then they could do it right away and not have to wait till the money came in, and yes, it would get passed on to the consumer, but your poorest people that have trouble paying electricity anyway wouldn't have as big an issue.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm wondering if this is something that's been brought up, or maybe that's their next step if they can't get it done this way. Uh, Power lines underground's a big deal, especially up here in the mountains, dude. these poles get hit all the time, and if they do, power goes out for miles for like sometimes a week. You know,
Power was out for 2 hours this morning here.
we had power out yesterday for a couple hours, which is weird. Uh, and oh my God, I've explained this to the mother-in-law like 6 times. Don't run your water when power's out. She goes, no, it'll work. I'm like, no, you're not on city water. You don't just have pressure on your water line. You're gonna take it out of the pump system, and now we're gonna have to prime the pump again every time. And power goes out every month or so for something dumb or another. Someone hit a pole or something versus
Right.
wrecked it. Every single time she does this, and I have to go over there and show her how to reset her pump again because she doesn't know how to do it. I've even written it down and put instructions on it. And I'm just like, oh my God. It's like, just stop. Because it's like you turn the valve, you get water for like 2 seconds and there's no water. And now your entire pump system doesn't work right.
Right.
Are you on well or city?
Well,
Okay. So you know what I'm talking about then.
yeah.
Yeah. And you gotta turn there and turn that little almost looks like an Allen screw a couple times.
Hmm.
Anyway. Jesus Christ, dude. Now, Grand Rapids and Coldwater are both cities I've heard of in Michigan.
Yeah, this one was crazy. They blocked both
No.
sides of the road, both of the highway to land a life flight helicopter to take the guy on the lawnmower off
So,
to the
so this guy was
hospital.
on a lawnmower and got hit by a semi, then a helicopter came and took him out.
Yeah,
Did he survive?
I haven't heard yet. I haven't heard any follow-ups on the story yet.
What was he doing on the interstate on a
That's what he
lawnmower?
does. No, he worked for the state. He was
Oh,
mowing the
oh,
side of the highway.
oh, he was mowing. So wait, this truck went off road.
Yeah, probably because the guy was on his phone or something, not paying attention.
Oh, I thought this was some guy who thought it wasn't drunk driving if he took his
No, no,
lawnmower
this was
to
a
and from the
state. This was a
bar.
this was a state worker.
So yeah, it wasn't even like in the middle of the night with on a
No,
lawnmower.
no, it happened
It's
at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
yeah, with flashing lights and signs and everything, right?
Hmm.
Because you know as well as I, they put signs up and road work ahead and all that stuff. Jeez Louise, got hit by a semi. This dude survives, man. He's got to go and start doing interviews about what a freaking badass he is.
Yep.
Uh, it sounds crazy, but maybe being thrown clear of the wreckage as soon as it was hit might have saved his life instead of being strapped to the mower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of mower he's in either. For all I know, the thing had a roll cage and crumpled into pieces around him, and you know what I mean? Because they might have anticipated something like this. Uh, okay, this is finally starting to affect me. I didn't even hear about this until this week, but some of the delivery companies that deliver beer, actually, one beer delivery company is on strike, and apparently they're in their fourth week right now. Um, and it's my brand of beer. And the other beer I like that might cost a little more is also this distributor. And the one I like that costs a little more than that is also this distributor.
You got a
Uh,
problem.
yeah, Mill
You're gonna
Light.
be drinking Bud. We might get
This
money from Ron.
that's actually what I thought. Too. I was like, should I buy the Bud Light? But so I drove to a different gas station instead of the one near me,
Uh-huh.
and they still had like 630 racks there, and I was like, oh, so
How many did you buy?
I almost bought all six, honestly. But I was like, if they're still here, chances are I'm the only one buying them.
And I can imagine the wife would say something if you showed up with 630 racks at one
No, actually, I
time.
I told her that they were boycotting delivery. She would understand, actually. She'd be upset because she's like, you're just gonna go through it. But yeah, it's actually started to affect me because the gas station near me doesn't have it anymore. Um, so I gotta drive an extra 10 minutes all the way across the entire city. Which is funny. It's from outside the city through the city on the other outside the city on
Uh,
the other side where the next gas station is. Oh, here we go. Here's a fun one, Brian. I have to turn left at the county red light.
oh no. That probably
Yeah,
takes forever.
that that this one red light in the county too. That's awesome. You've been through that red light too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Dude in Grafton County, postal worker, he's being charged for stealing rebate checks from residents. They were getting rebate checks from something. I don't know what. I'm sure it said in the article, but I didn't care as much about that. But uh something happened that and he had possession of this thing for like he was supposed to drop it off, like to return it to be delivered again or picked up by the person it was addressed to.
Right.
Something happened and he found it was a rebate check. So he started opening all of them and cashing them all in on his own. And
Okay.
he's being charged with larceny right now. And I'm wondering if this could be postal fraud or not, if he's opening mail not addressed to him.
Should
Because
be, yeah.
if the feds got involved, oh my, the mighty hammer of the federal government coming down on you for no one will fuck with the mail again for a while in the area if this guy gets like 30 years for this. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Because I'm sure, what was it? Was it the 90s, maybe the late 80s when people were stealing gift cards out of the mail?
Yeah.
Because like you'd feel the gift card at Christmas time, it would never get delivered. And then a bunch of people got nailed for that. And then it stopped, didn't it? uh, oh, there we go. I mentioned the protest we had here in West Virginia recently concerning ICE, but ICE has been, I wouldn't necessarily say targeting, I guess maybe that's the right word, restaurants lately. And people are asking why, but I got a good laugh because a local-ish restaurant here, it's Mexican food, an actual Mexican food, not like Tex-Mex.
Right. No, like Taco
Uh,
Bell.
yeah, exactly. Uh, they got the feds showed up and took out 10 people. Four of them ended up getting released within an hour. Six of them are being detained for, you know, courts and everything. The restaurant had to close down because the majority of their staff just got picked up by ICE. And at first, people were upset that this happened, and then they started to realize, wait a minute, how many people here are how many illegal folk are here now taking jobs from these citizens who are living in trailers that
Right.
can't pay their electric bill. And this is something that actually does matter out in the fucking boondocks versus the city, because you
Right.
can't just go get to the soup kitchen when you're out in the middle of nowhere. And, shoot, Brian, you saw a lot of the poverty out here, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that was that meth lab already burned down by the time you came here, or had it not burned yet?
I don't think it burned down yet. Wait,
Uh,
no, the house a couple doors down from you?
yeah, a couple miles, but yes, a couple doors
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It already caught on fire. Yeah.
yeah, and the truck and the car in the front yard were completely destroyed. Like the rims were melted. I was like, what the fuck happened here? Yeah, that turned out to be not a meth lab. He was selling someone else's meth in the turf of someone who made it nearby. And these guys apparently used thermite to like burn this guy's place to the ground. I was like, holy shit. But there's a lot of poverty besides just stuff like that. There's just abandoned buildings, trees growing through houses.
Right.
Shit, the old hotel burned down less than a year ago, and they finally just cleaned up the wreckage and it's just sitting in an empty lot now. It burned down because squatters burned the place down because they were cooking food on fucking hot plates, you know?
Hmm.
All right. So this is Virginia stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer we're gonna keep doing Virginia, but I still do keep putting some Massachusetts up here every
Well,
now and then.
I've put it in mainly some of the Virginia stuff I put in because it was Navy related. So, but then others,
Yes,
there's that gun ban that we've been talking about.
exactly. I might start moving it into different categories instead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
leaving
yeah,
it
that's
under
fine.
local.
Yeah.
But yeah, a sailor shot and killed another sailor,
Killed
which
his
it was a man.
wife.
Yeah, I was just say it was his wife,
Yeah.
and tried to kill himself after the baby died.
Yeah, their baby died the day before, so then he shot her, and then he tried killing himself.
So he has an actual insanity, not even insanity claim here, but he couldn't control himself,
Right.
like uncontrollable
There's
grief.
a failure of the chain of command there to not recognize that somebody's baby died. They may need some counseling,
That's
some being watched over type thing.
that's an excellent point. The chief, uh, the chief is gonna be speaking to somebody about this, isn't he?
Oh yeah, the command
How
master
did
chief.
this, how did this happen? You didn't see it coming.
Right. There had
I
to be
didn't even.
signs.
Yeah, yeah. His LPO. I mean, I don't know what pay grade this guy was, but his LPO, his work center supervisor, depending on how down low he is. Someone should have realized, especially when the guy's like, "My baby died yesterday." Like,
Third class. They were both
and
third classes.
there you go. So chances
So they were
are,
young.
yeah, and chances are he wasn't the work center supervisor either. You usually need
No.
five or higher.
No, they were both. One was an aviation ordnanceman, the guy was, and then she
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
culinary specialist.
yeah. Does it say what the baby died of?
No, it just says that following the death of their infant child the day
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, and I get why you don't. If it wasn't nefarious, you don't always want to release details like that as a news source. It's not. It's not necessary. But yeah, that's terribly sad. And this poor kid's life is over. Like
Yep.
he's probably never gonna see the outside of a jail
He
cell
probably
again.
won't be able to get any VA benefits out of this either.
No, he's gonna be drummed out, dishonorably discharged, uh, or at least an OTH if he's found not guilty, but
Yeah.
of a crime. But you can't have someone like that staying in the service. They're not stable enough, not safe enough to trust with this stuff. You know what I mean?
No, but it would have been, he should have got help from the VA.
Yeah, maybe at least pay for his therapy, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so the gun bans we were talking about in
It,
Virginia,
it's great for the gun sales companies.
don't we see this every time the Democrats threaten to ban guns? Don't we see a rush for
Yeah.
people to go buy them right
Yeah,
away?
exactly. Uh-huh. Yep.
Because,
Every
be-
single time.
yeah, because typically speaking, whatever law they pass does not allow them to come confiscate what you already have.
Right.
Usually,
No, not
you just
usually.
can't. You just can't sell them anymore.
Right.
That's the way of trying to get around the Second Amendment. Yeah, you can have a gun, and yes, you can carry a gun, but no, you cannot sell it. It's like, oh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is if people start manufacturing firearms in the backyard, shit's gonna get way more dangerous. You know that, right?
Yep.
People blowing their hands off trying to fire a shotgun or a rifle at a deer. But yeah. And yeah, this other one, a new Virginia law bans weapons in the hospitals and everything.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think it's the same law.
yeah, that's
I think it's
you know,
part of all the assault ban. I could be
I honestly
wrong,
thought
but
it already was illegal nationwide to carry a gun into a hospital, just like a bank or a
well, this one now she just signed into legislation, but this also allows the security people to be armed in the hospitals now. So not just police, but actual, your private security companies can put armed guards there.
I'm okay with that too, but the issue is if she's banning all of this stuff, how is a private security company going to be able to do it either? Or do they
Uh,
have special licenses to get these firearms that she's out trying to outlaw?
yeah.
Anyway, uh, this past week, uh, I saw it actually on the social medias because I'm still in a couple groups from back up in Mass.
Hmm.
People asking if anyone else heard or felt that boom and that shake.
We had a meteor hit here in the county next to me this week, and they reported that it was going at 50,000 miles an hour when it landed and when it come through the earth.
Oh, it probably didn't land. It probably burned up in the
Burned up,
atmosphere.
yeah. But
Yeah.
when it came into the atmosphere, it was doing super
Yeah. Well,
fast.
this one here, weighed as much as an elephant. It was 5 feet across and it was going 42,000 miles an hour when it got into the atmosphere, and it broke up miles above New England on Saturday. And the energy released was equivalent to 230 tons of TNT. Oh my goodness.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, people all over New England felt and heard the sonic booms of this thing as it was moving through the big one was when it broke through the atmosphere. You know what I mean? It actually had a sound barrier. But geez, my goodness. A lot of space rocks lately. And whatever happened with that Atlas stone we heard about?
No
Is it
idea.
is this still possibly pieces of that?
What
Because
was the
that was
comment?
no, I thought it was a hunk of rock that was I thought it was a hunk of rock. Anyway, that was supposed to like pass like between the Earth and the moon or close enough to the moon that it may as well be. Because I was kind of following it for a while, but then like the only thing coming out of it was all these meteors hitting the ground or falling in the atmosphere. And I was like, well, yeah, it makes sense. They're hunks of the big giant hunk of rock that probably broke off when it got pulled into the sun's gravity well, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've done some dumb shit in my
Atlas is
life.
a small moon of Saturn.
Okay, yeah, okay. I thought it was like Atlas 231 II or something like that, or
This was an interstellar comet
it was
that
a
was
comet. Okay.
discovered in 2025 that passed through our Oort system, is now heading back into interstellar space. It did not crash or disappear. They observed it going around the sun, and it was just nothing happened.
Okay.
It did
So
its
this could
thing.
just be still debris from that coming through our solar
Possibly, yeah.
system. Even pulling bigger rocks from like the Kuiper belt in or something. But yeah, I've done some dumb shit. I did some really dumb shit when I was
Not as dumb as this.
in the service. I may have
But
done
you're not
stuff
running
as
for
dumb as this,
Senate. But
and
you're
I didn't
not running for Senate.
and I wouldn't advertise it.
No.
This this Nazi out of Maine, Graham Plattner, was bragging about doing cocaine while on leave from the Marine Corps.
And the sad
This is
thing
also
is the idiots in Maine look like they're gonna freaking elect him.
well, here's what's crazy was for like 2 days, it looked like everyone was turning against him from like the media and everyone except for like Warren and Sanders. But now all of a sudden, everyone friggin' got unified again and said, if we're gonna fight against those evil Nazi Republicans, we got to elect Nazis. I was like, what? But this guy, we haven't even got into most of this guy's ridiculous
No.
online thumbprint. We have trouble getting past that Nazi tattoo he had on his chest for 18 years. But this video of him out there saying he knew it was he called it my totem kampf. He knew exactly what it was. Um, the women that he was sexting while he was married, that's what actually offended the Democrats for a couple of days. The fact that he said he joined the Marines because he wanted to kill people. He's supposed to be a blue collar worker because he's an oyster farmer, right? You know that over 65% of his freaking uh income from that job is selling oysters to his mother.
Wow.
This guy's a bag of shit.
Yeah. Well, the
And
governor and had suspended her actual campaign, but she's out there telling people that Democrats can still vote for her in the primary because she's still on the ballot.
yeah, she suspended it but didn't drop out. Exactly. So her name is still on it. She's like, if you guys are that offended by that guy, you can still vote for me.
Right.
Uh I haven't heard much from this woman, honestly, in a while since she got the seat as the governor. I mean, I didn't even remember her name until I saw this. So she obviously
I
can't
wish
be that out of control.
right. And then I wish the Plattner would actually do what Fetterman wants him to do. I'd like to see Fetterman in a suit.
I know. I know. Uh, well, the crazy thing is, Fetterman only wants to know about this sexting scandal with these other women while he was married. And I'm like, he's like, I'll wear a suit, the rest of my time in Senate, which would be hilarious, fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because honestly, I believe Fetterman. I believe if he says it and then this happens, I believe he'll do it because
I
he's
do
he's an
too.
honest
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
As much as I
But
disagree with a
Plattner's
lot of his
not going to do
policies, I
it.
respect him.
Plattner's not going to do that. Not going to release all this stuff.
At this point, if people are still on board, they're okay with anything this guy says or does. Uh, I mean, it bothered me a little bit that the only thing I got people was that he was cheating online from his wife. But like, then I remembered Cuomo. They didn't care about the what was it, 100,000 senior citizens he killed. They only cared when he started when they find out he grabbed women's asses. And it's like, wow, this I understand that's an issue, but the killing people was a bigger deal. That should have got him thrown out first, you know?
Right. Hmm.
All right. Oh, here we go. This is exactly what I was talking about. The FACE Act before. A jury is deliberating throwing throwing a California pro-lifer in prison for posting a video outside the abortion clinic. So even being outside the abortion clinic and filming might get this guy put in jail. But Don Lemon kicking in the door of a church, coming in and recording, that's okay. And
Yes,
I
exactly.
understand these are different states, but these are the same laws. It's the same law that applies to both. And the Democrats only agreed to the church thing because they said there's no way we're going to have crazy leftwads charging into churches and protesting.
Right.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is why the federal government might need to get involved. It is a federal law, after all.
Hmm.
Maybe the federal government does need to get involved in Don Lemon and then point directly at this case right here
Yeah.
and make the same argument I did. You can't record from outside, but what if he walked in and recorded? Is that even worse?
He was a member of the press.
So, doesn't mean you can. Being a member of the press does not mean you get to conspire to break the law. He had it on his own video. He's like, oh, I got to shut the camera off for a couple minutes here. Some stuff we can't have everyone knowing about. And it's like, what the fuck, man? I don't know. Yeah. I'm still not sure what's going on with redistricting in California. I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. Haven't their elections already started, or is that only local elections? It must be only be
Um,
local.
I think it's only local. Yeah, I think it's
That,
only a local, and
mm, okay. So I didn't. Okay, so they're getting. What does it mean? First test of their redistricting map. Like it's going to its first vote.
yeah, I think they're voting in primaries right now, and I guess that's what it's about.
So because Texas got such an influx of illegal immigrants that they had to redistrict, every liberal state thought they had to too. Problem is they already did. And by the way, I'd like to update what I had said about gerrymandering. The guy's name wasn't gerrymander; it was Jerry something else. But when he drew this new map, someone says it looks like a salamander, and someone else said no, it's a gerrymander. That's where that term came from. Democrat though, still. Uh, but the problem is these blue states have already gerrymandered the crap out of the states, and California might be able to squish a couple Republican votes out, but their failure in Virginia means they lost this gerrymandering war. And what
Right.
Alabama or something like that, it was like, no, we're not doing it. And that would have given the Republicans even more seats.
Indiana.
Indiana, okay, my
Indiana.
mistake. Uh, yeah, and I don't know, man. If you like, we said this right away. It's like if they start this conflict, they're going to lose it.
Right.
They because Florida wasn't necessarily going to do this until everyone else threatened to do it, right?
Right.
It was just going to be Texas, and I love it. They're like, "Oh, Texas started it." And then you show them New England. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, all right. Anyway. Bass has canceled the Fourth of July parade in the Sunland.
Technically, she didn't cancel it. She
She didn't
promised
fund
that
it.
they would. She promised that they would help with funding for security and stuff like that. And at the last minute, like, within a month of the 4th of July, she said that they weren't going to they weren't going to fund it at all, and so the organizers said, "Well, we don't have enough time to raise the $20,000 we need for security and stuff like that."
And by the way, security doesn't just mean like they're worried about people being violent. It means like not necessarily crowd control, but like we need to shut roads down to have a
Yeah,
parade.
yeah,
Like it's a whole thing.
it's a whole ordeal.
Well, the thing is, they've been doing this for 50 years, and they've been getting help from the city to do it.
Right.
And yeah, maybe if they'd given them 3 months' notice, they could have had a fundraiser or a bake sale or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Did anything ever come with Mamdani shutting down the Fourth of July celebration in on Times Square?
Not yet.
Okay, because I haven't heard anything about it either. And you think that would have come out right away if it got
People are more worried about FIFA. And
that, and that's why it's in place. But you could have exempted the Fourth of July ball drop on the 250th.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if everyone realizes this or not, but the big ball at Times Square doesn't just drop at midnight on January 1st. They do it for the 4th of July too.
Hmm.
And they've been doing it for a long time. That's more of a local New York thing. People don't stay up to midnight to watch the ball drop on the 4th of July, but I guess you could, especially with modern tech and YouTube and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, you shared this one. What's this woman just walked into a polling station like an hour after it closed?
Right. Tells you how good of a voting system they have.
It's safe and secure, right?
Yeah.
And then they blamed what was it, a school or something? They blamed the school for not locking up. I thought that was a little interesting. You think someone would stay behind to make sure the doors were locked when you have I'm
Yeah.
assuming uncounted ballots because they said it might take weeks to get back one city to get back the results here. Like what LA mayor might take a week, they said, right?
Yeah. For the primary.
How?
Because they do primary mail-in ballots, and everybody that's registered as a voter in California automatically gets a mail-in ballot, and that's what they encourage people to use, not going into the ballot box to vote. And then they're allowed to accept ballots per state law up to a week after election, as long as it is postmarked on election day.
Why would it
So
take a
we,
week to get from your house to
have you
the
done with any business with the post office lately?
but you just drop it in your mailbox. It doesn't take a week. I could send you mail from here to you in Michigan, and it wouldn't take
I've
a
had
week to
things
get there.
that went from Michigan to Virginia that taken a week.
That seems ridiculous. It must have was it packages or was it just a letter?
Letter. It got lost. It got mishandled along the way. It took them a while to send it to the right place.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's something went wrong. I can understand that, I guess. But they're usually pretty good, especially if you put the barcodes on them on the envelope so they know right where to send it right away. You know what I mean? They don't have to sort it by hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming they're doing that if they're mailing everybody a ballot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, this woman walked into an unlocked ballot booth and just turned around and went home. They say it's going to take a week to figure out what's going on. And check this out. There was a ballot drop last night. You know, tens of thousands of ballots came in
Of course.
from a polling station. Not a single one of them was for Spencer Pratt.
No,
Not
all Karen Brass.
not one. How is that possible?
It's not.
I mean, in theory, it's possible, but in theory, I could metamorphosize right now and sprout wings and be the next step in human evolution. But chances are, in all probability, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And that's what I was thinking more than mail-in ballots is that instead of trying to find the ballots, it sounds like they're more like they're finding reasons to discount ballots. Like their signature is not legible or they didn't completely fill in the dot kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, Even Trump accused him of cheating when they said it was going to take a week in one city, right?
Right.
Meanwhile, what, Florida and half the states in this country can do it in an hour.
Yeah. Florida is usually the first one in a presidential election back with their results, and they're in two different time zones.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's enormous, and yeah, exactly, and it's in two time zones, so you're adjusting for that. The place is not little. Granted, it could physically hold more people if it wasn't underwater, but there's a lot of people in Florida too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, by the time polls close in California, Florida's already got here's our count.
Yeah.
California's like, oh, we're gonna need a week. There's a truckload of ballots over there. We might need to go find tomorrow. you
Right.
know. Uh, Fascinating thing was with these guys, these Republicans doing so well in California. Nobody's won anything yet, obviously, but doing so well. Even Hassan Piker, and I'm gonna be bringing this guy's name up more and more now that you're gonna recognize his name, dude. Even
Okay.
Hassan Piker said that this is very bad for the Democrats because this is going to tell the Republicans that bothering to show up to the polls might help, and if they do
Mm-hmm.
that, it will.
Right.
Because there's giant parts of California with more Republicans than Democrats, but they don't bother voting because it's like,
Right. They don't get to have a sway. They don't feel like their votes matter.
yeah, how am I gonna, beat Sacramento? But your local shit, and
Sacramento's actually fairly conservative.
okay, San Francisco.
Yeah, that's not conservative.
Uh, but you get all these guys together because they're winning the local elections, then they show up again for the federal election. Now all of a sudden you have half the state. It's something like 40 something percent of the state actually is registered Republican.
Exactly.
But the problem is the Republicans spread their what's the word I'm looking for here? Don't if a Republican doesn't, I shouldn't say a Republican. If your right-leaning independent doesn't like what the person running has to say well enough, they won't vote for him.
Right.
Instead of doing the lesser of two evils, they won't vote.
Right.
And that's what the Republicans need in states like California and Massachusetts to win is your right-leaning independent to say, yes, I will actually get up and vote. Shoot, it's for real. If the entire Republican population of Massachusetts got up and voted, and then you get your disaffected liberals who are pissed off at like the price of gasoline in Massachusetts, you can only blame Trump so much when you say gas is $6 a gallon. And then
The
you find
federal
out,
tax on gas is 18 cents a gallon.
yeah, exact. Well, then they're gonna. You say the price of oil is up, but then you look at West Virginia and it's under $5 a gallon. What's different in Massachusetts? You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
obviously a Massachusetts thing that brought just like California's like, I can't believe gas is like $10 a gallon. I'm like, only in California. You know that, right? All right.
Yeah.
Let's move into some more terrible ideas from the left. Uh Washington Examiner political see, I hate when they do this. Some of these headlines give you a good idea what's in the article, and some of them kind of beat around the bush. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you shared this one.
I did.
Yeah, the Orthodox Jew. Did you read the article?
Yeah, I think I started to.
Oh. Orthodox Jew, he's not allowed to do a lot of things during prayer, but the Sabbath and
Right.
holidays,
Mm-hmm.
like even turn the lights on, let alone drive. So they have to make sure that they live close enough to be able to do the worships because they have to do worship 3 times a day.
Right.
And they have to do it in quorums of at least 10 Jewish men.
Right.
Well, they were having issues, so this guy decided he was going to hold uh
A prayer
what
group in his home.
yeah, I was gonna say, what do you call mass in for the Jewish folk? I know it's in the synagogue. Is it temple? I don't want
Yeah.
to sound ignorant here, but I am ignorant. But yeah, anyway, so he decided to do this in his home and have people come and do prayer at his home instead of trying to
Right.
get to the nearest synagogue or whatever.
Yeah.
And and the city told him no, he needs like permits and licenses and stuff.
Yeah. And the zoning process. His house has to be rezoned.
Yeah, and all I could think was the very first amendment of the Constitution disagrees with you, but nobody gave a shit about these freedom of religion practices during COVID either, though.
No.
Unless you were rioting in the streets, you weren't allowed to be in a group, and you definitely weren't allowed to wear a mask. But you could be in a group with no mask if you were rioting in the streets.
Yeah, because COVID wasn't there.
Yeah, well, apparently
Riders
COVID.
were exempt from COVID.
Well, and apparently COVID travels at a certain height above the ground too. Because if you walk into a restaurant, you have to wear your mask, but as soon as you sit down, you can take your mask off because apparently your head's below the virus level.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's science. Trust the scientists, right?
Yeah. Trust Fauci, the
Oh,
highest paid civil servant in the government back in the
well,
day.
he was, yeah. That's because he was the longest serving too. And the statute of limitations expired last week for him to be brought up on perjury to Congress.
What about his he's got a pardon from preemptive pardon from Biden.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. This would have been the chance to deal with the preemptive pardon because you can't say someone is pardoned for something they've never been accused of. Because in that case, I could pardon someone for terrorist actions that they haven't done yet, and then let them go do that, and they can't be charged. You know. Oh, Mary Katie, yeah, Mary Katie Wilson out there in Seattle. She's the one who like cheered everyone to leave, all the wealthy people to leave Seattle. A year ago, she called for a boycott. Just under a year ago, she called for a boycott of Starbucks. You know, because we hate billionaires.
Right. Yep.
She was recently after she drove Starbucks out of Seattle, and they had to close like 65 locations on top of that. She gets caught with a Starbucks cup out in public, and it's like, yeah, I guess I broke my boycott. What can I say? You know, it is what it is, basically. And it's like you just chased out the number one income for your entire state,
Yeah.
and got the people behind you to do it, and now turning around and buying their products. Ouch. Good, good job, Seattle, with your voting practices, huh?
Yep.
Criminy. Okay, I had this article in here. You shared one that was similar. The Fox News one. When I have an article besides Fox News, I try to use it because if anyone does ask for sources,
Hmm.
they're probably going to say you're wrong, and I'd love it for it to not be a Fox News source because then I don't trust Fox News. But I
Okay.
will use Fox. I will use Fox News. I'm just saying if I get a different one, I try to use that one.
I do a lot with Fox News because they don't have as many pop-up ads,
Well, you're
and
paying a
it's
subscription service on it, aren't you?
no, I'm not. No, I've got it
Oh, I
for
thought you were.
free. But the ads that they do are fairly tame, so I've been to
You
other
get the
sites where I can't even
Yeah,
read the article because it's pop up after pop up after pop up.
or they block a third on the bottom and a third on the top,
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
trying to read an article. Yeah, Fox at least you scroll through, and sometimes it'll autoplay the sound of a commercial as you scroll past it.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. That's what drives me nuts about the Blaze. I like a lot of their stuff, but like nine things pop up. You're like, come on. Anyway, anyway, what's up? What is there no such thing as sex anymore? Oh, this is GBN, Great Britain's news.
Um, well, this is New York Democrats changing gender names. They're getting rid of mothers and fathers, and I think saw another article where they're getting rid of male and female.
Yeah, gestating parents and non-gestating parents.
I
The
mean,
problem
New
with that,
York's got a lot of other problems to worry about rather than changing gender names and identifiers.
I agree. And this is just nuts that this is what they're focusing their time on. And how much money is that costing these? I know it doesn't sound like much. I go, so what? They passed the law. What? How many people had to sit down and discuss this and write this that got paid the whole time?
Exactly. There's not. It's not just the Congress people doing it. There's staff for the Congress people that are doing it.
Yeah. And my God. And this is what we get because anyone who wasn't crazy made a big deal saying words matter. You can't just redefine words to mean what you want. So now they're going and using different words.
Yeah.
But this is ludicrous.
Yep.
Gestating and non-gestating. What happened? Okay. So woman has a hysterectomy. She's no longer capable of gestating. Which, by the
Gotta
way,
change her.
gestating means carrying the life inside your body, not menstruation, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
already fertilized. So once you're no longer gestating, are you a non-gestating parent? Like once the baby's born, is the female no longer a gestating parent?
All right.
And this is again the whole thing with you try to change the verbs you use and the nouns you use and the pronouns you use and sound enlightened. But you tell me that two men can have a baby and breastfeed it.
Right.
I'm not a stupid man. Okay. I'm
No.
no PhD in biology either, but I know that, oh my God, I know how babies are made.
Yeah. You have a couple.
Yeah, I do, but this is why we have certain words that explain all of this stuff. And then they want to say, no, I'm a special snowflake. That's why you get some of these, I'm neither man nor woman. I'm non-binary. I'm two-spirited. Shut the
Right.
fuck up. You can believe whatever garbage you want and have your religious thing, whatever. I don't have to acknowledge it.
No, not at all.
You can burn the American flag in the street, which, by the way, you're technically not supposed to because no, not the flag burning laws that were abolished, but because you're starting a fucking fire in a public space,
Right.
but wiping your ass on private property of with the LGBTQ flag will get you arrested in New York.
Yep.
Which I thought was hilarious because there's the homeless people they love so much, you just had to take a shit behind a fucking bar. And the only thing they had to wipe his ass with was the flag. We talked about that when it happened. I thought it was New York. Maybe it
Yeah,
was
we did.
California.
Yeah, we did.
Uh,
It was some blue state.
yeah. And here's another one. I believe this is New York too. They're teaching these kids in high school an adult supremacy elective course about how like these kids are being subjugated in schools and stuff. Okay, no. Let's go back to making school optional. For real. Not just optional, a private affair. You got to pay for education for your children if you want it. But we're getting rid of all social aid programs. No welfare, none of that shit. Because you
Right.
had a chance to go to school and you said, I don't fucking want to. Now you don't know how to do anything. You can't read. You can't do basic math. It's not my if you want to come out a fucking moron who can't read, fine. That is not my responsibility. Opinions, Brian.
That's not a bad idea.
Or would you rather we crack down and start enforcing truancy laws and holding kids back? Because that's what I would rather see.
Nobody's going to do that. Well, I mean, your conservative states will, the red states will, but the blue states, they love the delinquency. They love stupid people because the stupid people keep voting for them.
But the stupid people are the reason why these states have no money. And that's why the Democrat Party is actually in, well, they have $15 million when they're actually in debt $18 million. Meanwhile, the Republican Party is sitting on over $100 million ready for their next election. Uh, it- And that's why we're getting so many of these young ladies going to OnlyFans. Well, I don't know how to do anything else. Fucking learn how to do it. Problem is, we didn't teach these kids how to learn anything.
Right.
At best, even when I was in school, at best, for the most part, they were teaching us how to memorize and regurgitate for the most part. Some of the stuff they actually taught you how to think and learn. But shit, you watch some of these kids studying philosophy today, and the crap coming out of their mouths,
Yeah.
the stuff that they're entitled to for simply existing. And it's like, who's going to get this for you? And they're like,
Nobody.
oh, the wealthy. It's like, so you literally want everyone else to do it for you. So then why would anyone do it?
Exactly.
Oh my God. I think you shared this one. Maybe I did. I don't know. Uh, they're cracking down on Colorado
I
school. And I'm
shared
not
it.
sure what, yeah, I'm not sure what cracking down means. Are they
Well,
actually
he
going to
put
start?
out the policy where
He put this
men
policy out a while
identifying
ago.
as women can't play in high school sports on the girls' team. And
Yeah, but he
apparently,
did that a while
Colorado
ago.
let it. One Colorado school district did.
And here's what's crazy is they're telling us, I keep hearing it's less than 0.3% of the population. Why do you care? And first, I want to say it's less than 0.3% of the population that's actually going through transition stuff versus I claim to be different.
Right.
And the reason why it bothers me, if it's such a small piece of the population, why are you requiring 100% of society to adapt to them?
Exactly.
And if it's 0.3% of the population, how does this one high school have 61 male athletes on the girls' teams?
Right.
Not only do they have an exceptionally high number of trans folk
Are they
here,
attracting transphobia trans people? Are they going out recruiting them?
and how are they all athletes?
Exactly.
Are they going out and finding the male X uh, the XX chromosomes that want to be XY and bringing them to the school to play sports because they will win? This is nuts.
Yep.
This is something that has to be addressed. Oh my God. In the 90s, we would have called all these people enablers. Um,
Sure would.
yeah, guy's got a fucking drinking problem. It's obvious he's got a drinking problem. He's trying to stop drinking, but you call him every fucking Friday and Saturday night, ask him to go to the bar with you. You're enabling his addiction, you know? And we're doing the same thing here. Just, oh my God, just like you're not gonna freaking help an anorexic girl, I'm sorry, a bulimic girl throw up more because she is fat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, so yeah, okay. When they say cracking down, what does that mean? Are they actually going to do something about it, or are they just
They're going to
waving their
talk about
finger?
it.
They're waving their finger.
Well, the Trump administration tries to do stuff, but then the federal courts get involved and slow the whole process down.
Exactly. If he tries to cut funding to this school, Rosenthal is going to step in, right?
Or Bosenberg.
Or Bosenberg. That's right. That's right. That was one I was actually thinking of. I can't believe I came up with Rosenthal. Yeah, but yeah, it's a handful of judges, and they seem to get every single one of these cases, which is really weird, isn't it?
Yep.
It's supposed to be a random lottery, right?
Yeah.
Uh, oh, the 8647 thing apparently has come to a conclusion.
Yep.
Um, I'm gonna keep that in mind because apparently it is okay to put out 86 and then somebody and publish it. 86 them. I want this to be remembered because when the next Democrat president comes in office, I am going to do the same thing.
Huh?
And I hope I don't get in trouble because not only did they say him putting it on social media wasn't a big deal, but they said that they're allowed to fly it on the grounds just outside the Capitol, right?
Yeah.
Right outside the mall. A flag. What is 8647 supposed to mean if it doesn't mean 8 miles out of the city, 6 feet underground? What
And
else would
47 being the number of the president.
exactly and 47th president? What else could it mean? And I don't know. See, here's the thing is, if these Democrats want us to think that they're dumb and don't understand why people are upset, then why do they want it so bad if they don't know, if it doesn't mean anything?
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
this is them playing with words and bunch of people. I think I'm gonna do it, dude. I think I'm gonna actually register Republican. But the problem is, after Trump's out, the Republican Party's gonna go back to normal, and the Democrats might too. I don't know. I think there's a fair chance that if the Republicans get rid of Trump but stay the same,
Mm-hmm.
they can become more popular as moderates, and the Democrats are going to have to dump their progressives and the socialists,
All right.
or just be voted out every time. All right. I think both of us shared something about this. Scott Bessent, he's not speaker. Can't remember.
No, he's a treasury secretary, isn't he?
That's right. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Why did he get yelled at, and what's going on with that?
He got yelled at in a House Ways and Means committee. And it was a shouting match back and forth. This guy's from Chicago. He's a Democrat, and Scott Bezzett got frustrated so much that he finally came back at the Democrat Snyder saying, um, "This is why so many people are fleeing Chicago and Illinois."
Yeah. Yeah. What we've been saying for a while, we've been tracking the migration out of these places. Um, I haven't checked the actual numbers in a little while, but last time I checked the numbers was on the show with you, and we found out that Massachusetts was the most moved out of state, and West Virginia was the most moved into state. That
Hmm.
might have been right when I moved here, actually. I'm like, oh, look at that. I might actually, I think it was shortly after. I was like, oh, I'm just ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
You shared this one, then I saw this in like 6 places. Um, okay, tell me about this and what do you think about it?
Um,
Did you,
well, apparently this YouTuber and his wife, he and her got a pregnancy. She was pregnant, and they got a Down syndrome diagnosis, which I don't think it's
is a real thing?
100% that
Nope.
it can be determined, but they decided to terminate the pregnancy over the chance of Down syndrome, and most of his a lot of his followers are not happy with that decision. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you can make the decision, but why do you have to put it on YouTube?
Well, that's the thing is he came out after the fact when he got ripped apart and was like, "Oh, fuck all of you." It's like we're dealing with the loss of a child, and he goes on and on. It's like you didn't lose a child, you terminated it because there was a higher than average probability of Down syndrome.
Right.
And then instead of going, "Oh wow, this sucks with a difficult decision," you published it and told everyone about it for clicks. You
Yeah.
monetized your abortion. That's what people hated.
Right.
Here's the question: was it real or was it a hoax? Was this something to get a shit ton of clicks on his video and people and talking about him?
Good
That's a
question.
thing. That's a thing people do, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
all the commenters are clicking on your video to comment on it. You
Right.
know. But yeah, man. Yeah, the test it is not. Yes, your child has an extra, uh, 721st chromosome, whatever. There's just a higher than average probability,
Yeah.
and this is what we would call eugenics.
Right.
And even the Democrats don't like that because then you're gonna and let's be real. If eugenics was an acceptable thing, if you could go and look at the genes of the kid, which sometimes you can, depending, and make a decision, then you're gonna get a lot more blue-eyed, blonde-haired children.
Hmm.
And we know this. We know this.
That sounds like a particular
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's a big reason why the Democrats hate the idea of eugenics, because they know blue eyes are seen as prettier. It let me go ahead and say it. The handful of black folk I've ever known with blue eyes, it looks especially gorgeous on black folk.
Hmm.
Typically speaking, if they're very, very dark, it looks weird. Sorry, I got this new mustache comb and lost my last one when I went on the cruise because it was metal detectors everywhere. I gotta train this thing to stay out of my mouth again. I know I keep brushing it,
Hmm.
uh but yeah, like I said, you'd end up with more blonde hair, blue eyed children that are, and the males will be 6'2", you know, and that's something that these folks don't want. But it's like, oh, I don't want to put in the work for Down syndrome, so I'm just gonna go ahead and execute my baby now.
Right.
And uh, man, this is you're getting into some murky water here. And like I said, nobody likes the idea of doing this. Even uh your pro-choice people, like that's a bad reason to abort a baby, you know. Which, let's be real, the reason why they aborted the baby is the same reason why your average abortion happens, because everyone's talking about the less than 1% of the case of like rape. That's
Yeah.
actually a reason for abortion. Usually it's I can't afford this and I don't want to put in the work, which is the same thing these folks said, honestly. I don't want to buy special equipment, hire people. I can't put in the time and the effort. The same thing if you apply the logic, but these pro choicers just don't see it, because you're just as offended by this as you are as even you're a strong Christian. You're just as offended by a woman who was raped having an abortion as you are by this, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because it's the baby did nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah. And yes, it's unfortunate, it's horrible circumstances, but doesn't mean this child deserves to die.
Right.
No, Brian's got a video. You got sound ready too? Oh
Yep.
my God. I know. I was the one who shared the view. We might have to bring back the view segment, Brian. You're gonna have to get the chickens clucking again.
About this country, because I feel that it is at this point a failed experiment, quite frankly. I am
Says the
also
100-millionaire.
discouraged by how this country is viewed by the rest of the world.
You think it's already failed? You don't think you think it's beyond redemption at this point?
I think at this point it is failing. It is a fail.
You don't
it is
think
a failing.
elections could bring it back? A change could bring it closer to the vision
I
you
spoke
have
to
for it?
President Clinton when he was here off camera, and he believes that it's going to take this country decades to recover from what has been done.
By Obama spending, right?
I would hope so.
Clinton actually had a plan to balance the budget, which never actually came to fruition.
But I'm sure that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about Trump.
What did Trump do that's going to take decades to fix? Let's be real.
The
And
Supreme
don't
Court.
even say the deportation thing, because it took Joe Biden 4 years to bring in
Millions.
way more than Trump can get rid of. Okay, Supreme Court. No, it won't. Kamala Harris already came out and said as soon as the Democrats are in office, they're going to pack the court. They came out and said it. It's not even a right-wing conspiracy anymore. They come out and said it. It's funny. You shared this article, then about 4 minutes later, I saw the same thing somewhere else. I'm a big fan of the Black Crowes music, dude.
Yeah, I like their music too.
Hey, little thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm sure hard to handle now. Yes, I am. Wow, wow, wow. Apparently, they were in Florida and ran their mouths. Well, I guess they showed their mascot or whatever wearing like an American flag shirt, and everyone started chanting USA.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
Yeah, the main vocalist, which by the way, these guys are brothers, and they've broken up like They had a major breakup way back in the day. It broke the band up, but then it come back just to do tours,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me think that the other major main member of this band may not agree with them. That might be why they broke up. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, they started chanting USA, and he starts screaming. He's like, "Oh, thanks for the geography lesson, idiots!" And it was, "What do you have to be so proud about?" And just starts running his mouth and calling Americans ignorant.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you don't know who your audience is.
No.
It says it in there somewhere. I think it was close to half the audience left when he started running his mouth. Problem is, he already got your money by that
Yeah,
point.
exactly. They paid for their tickets already, so he didn't lose any money in the process.
No, maybe he'll sell a couple
Less
tickets
tickets
less in the
next.
next show.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Uh, but yeah, I was like, wow, you guys haven't been relevant since like the 1990s.
I'm surprised they're still able to go on tour and they're not doing like the E clubs on bases or something like that, you know?
They had a couple big hits. Baby, here I am, a man on the upscene. I can give you what you want, but you got to come home to me.
Because I remember seeing Quiet Riot in the E club in San Diego back in the day.
Come on, feel the noise.
Yeah.
Girls, rock your boys. We want more, more, more. Yeah, I've never heard of them, dude.
That's their only hit. It's the
I
only
saw
song that people recognize from
I was down in Connecticut at this place called the Pulse nightclub, and I saw Great White. That
Nice. I've seen Great White in concert too.
no, dude, that was where the club
Fire.
burned down and killed everybody.
You were there, huh?
No, oh God, no. Actually, I was still in the Navy when that happened. All right, did you hear this Nowak story? This Henry
No.
Nowak out of okay,
Mm.
it's a year old, and I'm a little frustrated. I didn't hear about it until now, but it's everywhere now because the trial just happened.
Okay.
This 18-year-old British kid was walking home from something. Uh, got confronted by some Indian man of Sikh religious background,
Uh-huh.
Sihka.
Yeah.
The turban folks.
Yeah.
Pardon my racism. Uh, dude stabs him 5 times, right?
Right.
The man who stabbed his family shows up. His mom takes the murder weapon, not murder weapon, the weapon,
Right.
and hides it. Now, the only reason why this man was allowed to carry this blade on him because it was a part of his religion.
Okay.
Yes. She goes and hides the blade and then calls the cops.
Right.
The cops show up. They point at the man laying on the ground who's having trouble breathing, and they say, he called me racist word. There's video on one of and more than one of these. Actually, I have one of the one that says body cam footage. That's why it's in there. Says he called me racist word and smacked the turban off my head. So the police arrest the kid who's been stabbed. After this
Right.
kid has said, I've been stabbed, I can't breathe. And I only know this because the body cam footage, you can hear this and you can see his pale skin because there's no blood left in his body.
Oh, okay.
And he keeps saying, I've been stabbed, I'm dying, I'm dying. And the cop says, I don't think you have, mate. Another woman cop says, maybe we should check him for stab wounds. And he goes, nah, don't bother. He wasn't stabbed. And then this young man drowned in his own blood.
Wow.
Okay. Now, the man who killed him, I believe it was Sigwa, is his last name, has been convicted, life sentence. That's at least 21 years in this nation, right? Now, in case anyone's saying, why are you bringing up this case from over there? These people rioted over George Floyd here in Minnesota.
Right.
Okay. This young man was murdered by this man and placed into handcuffs because he simply pointed and said racist.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops did not care to hear this kid speak. This body cam footage, the faces are blurred out, but it's really gross. If you could play it, it would be awesome.
All right, let me see here.
But the only outrage that happened came during the trial because the body cam video was released to the public. And there were riots, but it was like 1,000 people here and there flipping out and screaming and chucking bottles. The friggin' government came out and was like, you guys all need to calm down. You're not acting like true Brits. We need to handle this properly. Meanwhile, they were cheering on the George Floyd riots in the United Kingdom.
This thing has a
Naj
screenshot, not the body cam
Oh,
footage.
well, one of these must have a video. That sucks. That's really sucks. I thought it was a whole video. Uh, Nigel Farage did come out and say, white lives matter just as much as black lives. But then these journalists were jumping on the white lives matter part, not the just as much as black lives. And they called them racist. And then they said that people need to respond with a great fury. And then all these reporters, like he said, they need to come out with this great white fury over this or great white rage. They're literally making this shit up. And now they're saying that the fucking family of the murderer is afraid, and these other six Sikhs are afraid to go out in public. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Why is it not okay to be white in the United Kingdom? Like, you're
Are you
gonna give
looking
me
for the cam footage of the rioters?
no, I was looking for the kid dying on the ground saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I know the footage is out there, but I thought it was in one of these, maybe not. If you got the riot footage, go ahead and bring that one up.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it says the six are scared to leave their homes due to a politicization of the Nowak killing.
Mhm.
Shoot, even John Cleese said something, giving Keir Starmer a hard time, and he's calling him two tier Keir. There we go. Protesters demanding justice for Henry Nowak, descender in Southampton. Arrested after clashes with white police. By the way, this kid's last words were, I can't breathe, just like George Floyd.
So, what the protesters were saying, there was on your
So there you go. All
knees,
those
and
people
they
were on their knees screaming, and some of them got arrested. That's a violent protest. Wow.
That wasn't violent at all.
Yeah, it's just amazing what the difference is, because if this was a bunch, if this is anything besides white men saying, what the fuck? Why aren't these police seeing criminal charges just like, oh my God, what's his name?
In Minnesota, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. By the way, I just want to point out that the Asian cop who had his back to the scene the whole time, just doing crowd control, is in prison too for the George Floyd thing. For simply being there. But these cops said no. And now what their big argument is, well, we couldn't have saved his life anyway. You didn't even try.
Right.
You assumed he was guilty because someone else called the white man racist.
Yeah.
You're just getting arrested because someone points at you and says racist now? Dude. Dude, I might have to use my American visa and go over there and get myself good and tanned up first and just start throwing friggin' elected officials into prison in the United Kingdom by just pointing at them and say racist. And I know I've said this a couple times on the show here and there. We don't usually do video. Even when we do, I look very white.
Right.
Uh, I got enough native skin, enough native heritage that I turn golden brown out in the sun.
Like Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, but I actually tan instead of burning and peeling because she's freaking Norwegian, but claimed her high cheekbones were because she was Native American, like a racist would. That's too bad we couldn't. I thought we had the video of this kid begging for help, begging for an ambulance, and they kept saying no, 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 no.
Right. That would have been good.
Uh, all right. Yeah, I remember we mentioned something about this hooker. I
Yeah,
couldn't
we
remember what
did. Good. These
yeah.
were sailors. The sailing thing
It
attracted
was
me.
in follow up for a while, but then I was like, there's a second one. I don't remember it well enough.
I
It,
can refresh your
yeah,
memory and
his wife
refresh
fell
everybody
overboard, right?
listening. His wife went overboard on their way back to the sailboat. They were in a dinghy, a little small boat that they used to get to shore from the sailboat. And it was rough weather. Most people down there said that they shouldn't have used that small of a boat in that conditions. She apparently wasn't wearing a life vest, even in rough conditions, which I think is crazy. And she went missing and hasn't the body still hasn't been recovered. This happened months ago. He was detained for a little while by Bahamian police and authorities and the FBI.
We
They
were
let
looking
him
for him in the
go.
Bahamas now, right?
Yeah. And then they let him go. He came back to the US to supposedly help take care of his ailing mother. But now he has disappeared again.
And they think he sailed off to Mexico.
I don't know what he sailed off in because they impounded his boat in the Bahamas, and then just this week they impounded his dinghy. The Coast Guard did,
Oh.
and now they've got Coast Guard divers searching the Bahama waters for her to try to find her body. But yeah, he sure looks guilty, but there's no proof that he's guilty.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I just want to bring this up again against about illegal immigration. This is a trope from the United States. Go to Mexico if you break the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what makes you think people aren't doing this the other way around to evade law enforcement?
Exactly.
And now, if this guy did go to Mexico, there's now the murderer in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
this applies the other way around. This is what Trump, when he said they're not sending their best, that's what he was referring to.
Right.
I don't know. You give a shit about the space station. I guess there were some leaks in the space station the Russians had to fix.
Yeah, they didn't fix them.
It
They
says here they
stopped the
did.
repairs. No, they
Huh?
stopped the repairs, and so everybody went back to their areas in the
Ah,
space station
okay. So why are the Russians doing so much of this?
because they're co-owners of ISS.
Yeah, so aren't a couple other countries. How come we don't hear about the
Well, it
oh
was the Russian module that was leaking.
of course it was. Of course it was. Uh so now the United States has been busy long enough in Iran.
Iran.
Yeah, now Ukraine wants to end this war with Russia because the United States isn't there just in case.
Yeah, we're not paying any attention to the Americans have even stopped caring about the Ukraine. But here's what
They did this years ago though.
I know. But the funny thing is I wonder what's really going on over there because I was listening to today's No Agenda show,
I keep hearing
and
about thousands dying, and I'm like, how do they have any people left then?
But 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 the No Agenda show, they have these meetups around the world where listeners get together and get together, drink beer, talk about the show, and talk about politics.
Yeah, in
Well,
general, the show stuff.
there's a meetup happening in Ukraine this month. So if it's
Oh,
such
that
a war-torn country, why would people be getting together to do a No Agenda show meetup?
because if you're not, that's the thing is when people think war torn, they think the entire place is blown up. There's a front line, and then behind that, it's usually pretty safe.
Okay.
I mean, the entire French countryside wasn't fucking shelled. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they swapped hands how many times in 10 years?
But now Zelensky wants to meet with Putin to talk about ending the war.
Yeah, and it's funny because this article is like there are plenty of nations that are known for doing these, war-ending talks, like Saudi Arabia, and listed a couple of them. And I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've just been following this shit too long because it's always like the same seven nations over there that they're doing the negotiations in, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because isn't most of the stuff with Iran happening in Saudi Arabia?
Yep. Sure is.
It's funny. I keep wondering what would happen if they went into one of these talks in Saudi Arabia with Iran and just assassinated everyone on the panel from Iran. I was like, nobody, trust me, no one in the world would appreciate it. But what would happen? Like, is UK finally gonna pull out of NATO because the United States did that, or are they gonna go, oh fuck, What- they're better on our side? Okay, you have no opinion on that one, I guess.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Looks like
ICE and Border Patrol are getting their funding package for the remainder of Trump's presidency.
yeah, we were talking about this before, how they did a good chunk of it, and it's like, well, what happens after that? And they've already secured that,
They
and
did it through budget reconciliation. For the people that don't realize what reconciliation is, this is the same thing that Obama used to push through that great healthcare system that everybody loves now, Obamacare.
yeah, I'm just gonna move the money from here to there instead, right?
Yeah, and it can be voted, it can be approved in the Senate on simple majority.
And what one Republican voted against this, and it was the Alaskan senator.
Oh, she's useless anyway.
Well,
Her and
the
Susan Collins voted against the Republicans more than they vote with them.
yeah, Susan Collins 64% of the time, and I only know that because I heard that number today. Uh, but let's be real, Susan Collins, she's in Maine, right? No,
Susan Collins is Maine, and then I'm trying
I
to
can't
think
remember
of
the Alaskan
the
woman's name.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean that's better than you're gonna get from Maine in general, though. Like she's the best you're gonna do with a Republican. So the Republicans just better accept it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
instead of doing what they did to Massey,
Murkowski.
Markowski, okay. Because I'm still looking at these poly market things, and a
Right.
lot of them are still expecting a fucking blue sweep, and I'm like, that's just impossible. There's no way they're gonna get every swing state and flip Alaska or Texas to take over the Congress. There's no way it's gonna happen. Because they said this last time, like, oh, we're gonna get every swing state. Then Trump got every single swing state.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep, you sure
like,
did.
I keep thinking about getting involved in it, but it seems too much like gambling to me. Um, I saw this article. Uh, saw it wasn't anywhere near us. It didn't really care much,
Okay.
but what a migrant vessel, I guess, Coast Guard took pictures of, but it was way over by Turkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was over capacity by like 200 people or something silly.
Yeah.
Uh, man, you just you're begging for something horrible to happen. With that many people on a boat,
Right.
it's easily going to capsize and kill
Yeah.
almost everyone because everyone's going to grab onto everyone else to try to get above water, and they're all going to go to the bottom. You know,
Right.
this is the same thing that we were saying about people trying to cross like the Rio, across the desert, then swim across the Rio. It's like, no, you're probably going to die in the trip.
Right.
Don't. It's not worth the risk.
No.
But then we started handing out free housing, free food, free phones.
And then it was worth the risk.
Now it's worth the risk. Exactly. And again, as soon as Trump came into office, no one was doing it anymore because they're not going to get the free housing, the free food. You know what I mean?
They're not getting the free debit card.
Yeah, you're getting turned away at the border. Now you got to turn around in Mexico and go back to fucking Honduras with a loaf of bread and 15 pesos in your pocket, you know?
Right.
Yeah, this guy Jack Carr, he's some American vet.
But,
Um,
but apparently the students weren't going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and he talked them into
yeah,
it.
Yeah, he did 20 years as a SEAL sniper. And these kids just didn't understand why they should stand for the pledge. And he just did a talk at the school,
Mm-hmm.
his local high school. And I started coming back and, about, the stuff he was doing and why and et cetera, but nothing graphic. And now almost everyone's standing for the pledge. But the thing is, I don't like the idea of the Pledge of Allegiance in schools. This is my libertarian coming out. These high school kids, these elementary school kids have no idea what that means
Mm-hmm.
to pledge allegiance to the flag and the nation to which it stands.
Well, I mean, that's a failure of education to not teach them that when they're having them say it.
Maybe, but my 6-year-old has no idea what allegiance really means. Uh, she doesn't understand that in reality, that means should something happen to the republic for which it stands, I am obligated to take up arms
Okay.
because I've pledged allegiance.
Right.
And I don't know. That's the way I interpret it. You're always going to defend it. It's always number one, allegiance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a feeling these kids just don't understand what it means. um, I think fuck probably half your active duty kids have no idea of what signing up for the service means either.
Right.
Like in the back of their head, they understand shit might happen, but they don't really know. Especially when they sign up at like these kids sign up at 18.
Uh-huh.
They have no idea what the fuck that means. They're either gonna be fucking heroes or ain't shit gonna happen because ain't shit never happened.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've disabled like 5 ships in a couple months over at the Hormuz.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're running out of oil, by the way.
Because we're selling it to the world and not us.
Yeah, I know, but what does that mean? All of this money coming
Means
in.
that the other countries are willing to pay more for it than Americans are.
Yes, yes. But this money coming in, what does it mean? Does that mean I'm going to pay less taxes? Does that mean we can reduce the
No,
price
it's
of,
going to the oil companies. They're making all the money on it.
so they're paying taxes on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So a portion of this money that Exxon is making is going into the federal pot.
Yes.
Is it enough to reduce costs for Americans? Is it enough to alleviate any of the issues we're having financially? Because I
I don't
still
know.
believe that Trump did all of this shit in an attempt to take over the world's oil market.
Well, it
And,
seems
and
to be working.
maybe it's gonna be 50 years before we see full effect. I mean, he did say short-term pain, long-term gain, didn't he?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, man. And what he recently said, we're not going to do any more aggressive actions in Iran unless an American soldier is killed.
Right.
Uh, could this be an attempt to bring down gas prices right before midterms?
Hopefully.
He is definitely hoping. Because what? I didn't even realize Israel. I thought Israel sent a couple bombers into Lebanon. I didn't realize they were actually like at war with Lebanon. So
Hmm.
what? They start a war with Iran. They let the United States fucking finish it, right?
Yeah.
Then they go and start another war in Lebanon, uh, which apparently I guess we've negotiated. Got Trump managed to negotiate a peace deal with this.
But Hezbollah is not accepting the peace deal, which are a major part of Lebanon.
Oh my God. Yeah. See, and somehow, well, I don't know. I've been pro-Israel in general, but I've been very critical of a lot of their actions.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Yes. Trump apparently, did you hear about this phone call he had with Netanyahu?
No.
Oh, called him fucking crazy. Actually said you're fucking crazy, and said the entire world hates you right now. I'm the only reason why you're not in prison.
Hmm.
And I think it had something to do with Lebanon. I think that's why there was actually a peace deal. Was we're gonna pull back our protection of you if you don't knock this shit off.
Right.
And again, I think this might be a here come midterms. We need gas prices to come down. We need wars to slow down, and fuck, for all we know, Trump's gonna step in again and try to end what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. But every time he's tried to do it, either Zelensky or Putin is either flat out said no or broken it
Yeah.
within a day.
Right.
Speaking of, you shared this one. Putin bombed Romania. That's a NATO nation. What does that mean? And what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, we talked about this on the last show. Romania is retaliating by opening up their military bases for U.S. to use it as defensive efforts against Iran. So that they want our troops on their in their bases to help protect their country from Russia and Iran. Which is a major thing for Romania because in the past they haven't been a big fan of letting the foreign troops onto their bases, because they've been invaded in the past. So, and Secretary of War Hesketh is still making changes in the Pentagon. Um, they just he just came out with a new military religion decree where before
Whoa.
there were 200 different religions recognized. Now there's only
Uh,
31.
more than 200. They
Right.
just removed uh what? Okay, I'm sorry. I think they removed something like 200 from the list of over 200 down to 31,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I genuinely thought a lot of these Christian religions would be mixed into Christianity.
Some of them are.
Some of them are, but I expected more of them. I thought it would be basically Christian or Catholic as far as your Christians went.
Yeah. And he
Because
also, another thing he did with it there is he's taking the rank off of the chaplain's uniforms
I
and
like this
and
actually.
putting their chaplain insignia up there because they're chaplains first before they're officers in the military. I like it too.
I do. And just like I like the idea of corpsmen wearing something different on the battlefield. Um, it's a reason not to target that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know it
Uh-huh.
sounds terrible, but we don't. For the most part, the modern civilized world does not shoot medics
Or
or
chaplains.
holy men. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you guys, this poor man is dying because we shot him. At least let him get his last rites from his religion, you know?
Right.
Or this man, we shot him and he's dying. Let the corpsman deal with him. Don't shoot the corpsman because if we do, that's not shooting our freaking corpsmen, our medics, you know?
Exactly.
And I do like how most people know the term corpsman over medic today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for anyone who doesn't know the difference, medics are army, corpsmen are navy. And
Yep.
if you're about to say something goofy like, yeah, but in all the World War II like D-Day movies, they were yelling for a corpsman. Yes, because those were Marines storming the
And
shores with
and
Navy
it's
corpsmen.
Navy corpsmen support Marines and SEALs.
Exactly. Uh, Geez Louise, I can't imagine being a combat medic or a combat corpsman. It's like, I have a sidearm. Okay, great. But I'm more busy carrying medicine and tourniquets than anything else, you know?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these guys got fucking artillery and rifles and machine guns, you know?
Exactly.
But even in World War II, both sides were really good at not targeting corpsmen and medics.
Okay.
The Germans did try it for a little while, but then they realized the same thing Americans did shortly after was if you shoot one man and don't kill him, you just wound him. It takes 2 men to drag him off the battlefield. You took 3 men out of action. If you
Right.
shoot him and then shoot the guy trying to save his life, you didn't actually you took out realistically one combatant.
Mm-hmm.
You're better off removing combatants from the battlefield than killing people. And I know, yes, killing them removes them from the battlefield, but again, 3 guys versus one, you know?
Right.
And this is a tactic the United States military still uses today um, for combat versus covert ops.
Yeah.
They'll put a round through your shoulder if they can instead to make sure you're no good in combat. And if someone drags you out of there because you're wounded and need help, that's just fewer people shooting at you.
Exactly.
It's good tactics. Let's be real. Because let's be real, dude's dead. They're gonna step over him and keep fighting, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
No say. Oh, see, West Virginia was mentioned more than once today, and not just in local. And well, here comes the second one. Uh, Trump is using his wartime powers, which I thought was an interesting thing because he just get shut down with wartime powers.
They're trying to shut him down, but it hasn't went through yet, and he's got to sign it into law. So what do you think the odds of that happening?
Well, they just need 2/3 to overrule a veto, right?
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. That's what gets me. So you let every other president do it, but you don't like this guy, so now it's bad, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But this is something I mentioned to someone else. Shoot, probably 5 months ago. Oh, here we go. This is one of the ones I don't like. The fucking Guardian, man. It's a left-wing paper too. Yeah, but half of it's a fucking giant pop-up.
Yeah.
But he's putting out $700 million to coal-fired power plants in the U.S. What he's calling the clean, beautiful coal, despite being the dirtiest fossil fuels.
I thought they were all shut down by Biden.
Oh no, there's still coal, and Trump actually set something up when he came into office to keep coal as a backup on military bases.
Okay.
Should something go wrong, we could still fire up a closed circuit system that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
leave base. It doesn't go out into Norfolk,
Right.
but it'll keep the base up and running with
Okay.
coal. And I
Right.
was like, I like this idea. And instead of saying, it's dirty, if fucking Norfolk gets shut down, we are fucked as a nation, and you know it.
Yeah.
This is why I keep saying, stop putting the aircraft carriers in a fucking row in Norfolk.
They're never there now.
Not now, yes, but we still line them up, what, 4 in a row? This is why they were targeting Pearl Harbor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we were nice enough to line them up in a row so we could just fly over and drop bombs. We're going to hit at least one of them. But yeah, West Virginia is one of 2 major coal mining companies that's getting a massive wad of money to mine coal. And believe it or not, there is different levels of dirty when it comes to coal.
Yes.
West Virginia has some of the cleanest coal on the planet. Australia does too with their coke coal, Coca-Cola. We have that too here, but we would have to destroy the mountains even worse to get to it. Something a lot of people don't realize is the mountaintops of the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia were blown off with dynamite 100 years ago to get to the
Right.
coal veins. Brian's already got the freaking next Google Doc set up because he's upset that I got it out before him.
Yeah, I was.
Well, here, what'll piss you off? What'll piss you off even more was 335. You
Mhm.
made one. You made one, but you
I
didn't make
never
it so
sent it out.
not even that. I couldn't add stuff to it.
Oh, that's weird.
So I just made a new one and said, yours is still empty in there somewhere.
No, I probably deleted it.
I bet it's in there somewhere. And okay, this one I laughed at. The military has turned GPS into some kind of like fucking code system.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you mean turn it into?
It's a
It's
number
oh,
station.
yeah, but that's what it's always been. The United States military built GPS and thought it had been long enough that the rest of the world could deal with it for driving directions. The military is at least 20 years ahead on what they're doing with satellites that are doing GPS.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be real. We're zooming in on someone's fucking backyard and watching them friggin' swim in their pool. That's not Elon Musk technology, is it?
No.
Or it's, I got a good laugh at this saying, "Oh, they're turning into number stations and they can grid in on the planet." And I was like, "That's what GPS is." You know, they're using it for weapons now. It's like it was designed for dropping weapons, believe it or not. They were just cool enough to say, "Hey, you guys can use it too if you want to get from here to there."
Right.
Uh, we got some decent stuff in leftovers. Is there anything in there you want to share?
Okay.
Some of the stuff I wasn't sure what to do with. Uh, Mpox being smuggled into the country by scientists. That was an interesting
Yeah, I think
one.
we talked about this previous episode, or maybe it was a different drug being smuggled in by. I mean, NIH. That was Fauci was in charge of that for ever and ever and ever, and that's
National
no.
Institute of Health.
Yeah, this is what his scientists do. They smuggle in Mpox.
Now, is that monkeypox?
Yeah.
Is it? I'm not sure.
Mhm.
So we're not allowed to call it monkeypox anymore.
No, I don't think so.
So the word monkey, referring to the small primate, is now offensive because it has been used by people to describe black folks as less evolved.
I
That seems
guess
kind of crazy. Which, by the way, I just like to point out that a lot of tech and a lot of data coming out in the last 20, 30 years is showing human life may have evolved in Europe, uh, which would mean that people that went to Africa and got the darker skin are more evolved because they had to adapt to the sun. So it wouldn't be lesser evolved. It would be an extra adaptation that other people don't have because they didn't have to deal with the same issues.
right.
Like you wouldn't lose your pigment by moving to a less sunny place, would you?
No,
You wouldn't become whiter.
not typically.
No. But you might darken up, especially over generations in the sun. I know, goofy thing to bring up, but uh Ardipithecus, they found it predated what they earliest African remains by like 50,000 years. They found in like Great Britain like 30 years ago. Mm, maybe not 30 years ago. We had just started this show then, so probably 20 years ago. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Van Hollen. Yeah, the veteran who's hurt. Oh, Social Security. How long we been talking about Social Security drying up?
For as long as I've been alive, almost.
Yeah. Not only are they not going to keep up with inflation as of 2032, but they're going to cut the income by $500.
That's a big chunk of change for people living on Social Security.
Well, nobody reproduced, so there's no one paying into Social Security. Let's be
People
real.
don't want to
Social,
work.
so yeah, exactly, and that, and I don't want to work, and I don't know. I just saw a video recently of an OnlyFans girl complaining she had to pay taxes. She got hit with a bill, basically, like the IRS is like, "Hey,
Yeah,
where's our cut
right.
at the end of the
Yeah.
year?"
Hmm.
She's like, "What do you mean? I didn't work
She's
a
a
job.
1099 self-employed contractor. You pay your own employment taxes. Both you pay double
You
because
pay the
normally,
worker and the employee."
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And she's like, and she came out with the videos like, "What do you mean? I didn't have a job. I don't have a W-2." And it's like,
No,
yeah, yeah, bitch, you owe more money.
right.
It's like you thought you made 100 grand. Ooh, you
No,
made like 45.
yep,
Probably she already blew all her money.
right.
But it's like, man, you got to look this shit up before you decide to be a whore, a legal whore. You better find out how to pay your taxes.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and apparently Virginia Tech did a study that says these bug sprays may actually be
Attracting
attracting
the
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes. Well, they said don't stop using them, just use them more often. So it sounds like an ad for the bug spray companies. It sounds
No, what it sounds like the same issue we've had with antibiotics. The mosquitoes that are immune to this bug spray now recognize it as a scent to find food
right.
because only food wears it.
Yeah.
And they were the only ones to reproduce because the other ones died.
Right.
We going back to DEET?
No, it's banned.
What about the trucks that drive through your neighborhood and blow out all that smoke? Kids used to chase them down the road. Actually, that was DEET, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What did I do?
You got to take over sharing.
Yeah, I know. I thought I did actually.
Nope. Now you
Yeah,
do.
it keeps blowing up to full screen for some reason. That's really weird. Anyway, that was a good one.
Yep.
2 hours, more than I thought it was gonna be.
Yep. 2 in a week. Both 2 hours long.
Damn. News must be picking up, huh?
Yep. All right. We're out.
Out.